Hello, welcome back. This is Miniature Mike again. I'm going to do a little different video this time. Instead of just doing Star Wars miniatures only, I want to do a video just about Star Wars in general. A while back, I did a tier list for just kind of putting together Star Wars media. What I thought about movies, shows, and so forth. So this time, I'm a really big fan of soundtrack music, movie music. All of us love Star Wars music, obviously. So I wanted to do a tier list and try to properly rate just kind of the music in general against each other. It'll be tough because some of them have John Williams, some don't. So some of them I just won't rate, depending on the circumstance, and some of them just have a main theme or two. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'll do my best to try to rank these things. We'll see what happens, but we'll go from there. So first up, we got the original Star Wars. So for me, I'm gonna put it in awesome tier. I know if you put it in the GOAT tier, that's totally fine. That makes sense. But for me, there's a couple that kind of supersede it. The thing about Star Wars, the original theme, you have Binary Sunset, which is probably the best theme out there. But then you do have a lot of music in here that is kind of reworked, track music. You have a lot of Holst, Mars Holst stuff. You have a lot of Rite of Spring makes lots of appearances and stuff. So you have a lot of music that Williams does borrow from, which is totally fine, and kind of puts it in there. And so there's those themes which are solid, but then there's some others. So those new Star Wars themes which are also amazing. So definitely a big fan of it. I think it's the soundtrack that got it started. Arguably, people would say it's the most famous movie soundtrack of all time, and that's totally valid. It really is totally valid. So for me, I like other ones more, but it's one of the top ones, so I gotta put it there in awesome category. For Empire Strikes Back, and it looks like we're doing this chronological order of release, I'm gonna put this one in GOAT territory. I think Empire Strikes Back, aside from being the best Star Wars movie, has the best music. It just does, because it has all the great music from the first movie. It builds on it, and then holy smokes, you have the Battle of Hoth music. You have Yoda's theme, which is incredible. You have the love theme, which is incredible. Like I didn't mention, New Hope has Leia's theme. That's also great. But this has the love theme with Han and Leia, which I love it. I think it's fantastic. The way it's used throughout is amazing. The stuff in Cloud City, you have, of course, the Imperial March. And then the asteroid belt is incredible. The asteroid field, that's just, I don't know what to say. I feel like every single track in this is just perfect. Just perfect. It's, in my opinion, I'll leave it number one. It's got the best music. So now we've got Return of the Jedi. I'm going to put this one as good. I might bump it up, but the thing with Return of the Jedi, and I'll kind of preface this, really all of these are amazing and incredible. I'm just trying to split hairs here a little bit. The Return of the Jedi's music's really solid. It uses a lot of those themes from before, for sure. Of course, you have a lot of the music, an Endor, which is fine, solid, it's okay. You have Emperor's theme, the throne room, that's all fantastic stuff, very ominous. You used to have Yub Nub, but they replaced it with the Victory Celebration, which I like it way more. I really, really liked Victory Celebration music at the end instead of Yub Nub, which, geez, a lot of newer fans probably have no idea what that is. But I grew up with VHS, and I rewatched it a lot, so it had it. All solid stuff, fantastic, but I think by and large, the whole scope of the soundtrack, for me, isn't nearly as strong as those other ones. And that's fine. It's still great, holds up. Great moments, for sure, but it is what it is, and it's okay. Okay, so Phantom Menace, this is going to be so hard, because this music is also good. I think Phantom Menace music is really, really, really good as well. I don't think it's quite as good as... Oh, man, I'm going to put it above Return of the Jedi because, you have Duel of the Fates, which is, kind of carries the whole thing. But you got a lot of other good stuff. You got the Trade Federation tracks, which are nice. Nice march. I like, Anakin's theme's pretty solid. It's not featured too crazy. And then, you have Duel of the Fates. You have other just solid music going on. The Force theme, I really, really like the way the Force theme is used sometimes throughout it. And I'm going to probably change these as I go. Does it? Man, I don't know. I'm going to probably put it in the good category as well. I'm going to put it above Return of the Jedi. I like it just a little more. And mostly, I think it's really carried by Duel of the Fates. So if this was best songs, yeah, Duel of the Fates is probably top 3, obviously. But, by and large, the whole soundtrack, also fantastic. But like I said, I'm trying to I don't want to put everything in S tier. I want to try to split it out a little bit more. So I think that's fair. For me, this one, I'm going to put episode 2 just behind an awesome. I think I think the soundtrack's fantastic. I love, a lot of the music that just goes on in between stuff. I really like, especially I really, really like the way Across the Stars is used throughout the entire thing. Lots of callbacks to other themes and so forth. You could argue and say Across the Stars is used like way too much within it. That's totally fair. But for me, as like a whole soundtrack in general, I really, just for some reason, I just really enjoy episode 2 soundtrack a ton. And I think Across the Stars is maybe one of the most underrated pieces from the whole entire thing. So, yeah. While I'm at it, I'm gonna close out of all this stuff. Anyway, so I think it's great. Sometimes I feel like put episode 1 above it, but I'm gonna keep it right there for now. We'll see how it goes. Revenge of the Sith, I'm gonna put in the GOAT category. Growing up, I think when it comes to Star Wars soundtracks, aside from Empire Strikes Back, I'll go here. You got so many amazing ones, so many amazing soundtracks throughout the whole thing. You have great callbacks to Duel of Fates. You have, of course, I love the intro. I really, really love. I think it has the best intro where you have, the crawl screen, the introduction, the Star Wars theme, and then go straight into a really cool militaristic version of the Binary Sunset theme, the Force theme, and I just love it. I think all the themes in there, Battle of the Heroes, Immolation scene when Anakin attacks the temple, Order 66. All the music in here is incredible. So if it's your cup of tea to put number 1, go ahead. But I think it's got to be one of the top ones for sure. So, okay, so now we're going on to the Star Wars, the music from Clone Wars. So I'm gonna put it in solid. Do I want to say it's in good? I might move it up just in general. I'm gonna put all the music from Clone Wars here. So I'm gonna see if there's any more Clone Wars going on. That might be. I'm gonna put these two together. Yeah, I'm gonna put these ones together. So I'm gonna put show. They're both. I think Kevin Kiner does a really good job with the music. I might be tempted to put it back here, but I don't know if I love it as much. It doesn't feel like it's quite as original. Like there are some original pieces. A lot of the clone themes are also very original, very solid. Maybe I'll stick them both up here. We'll see. I don't know. It just doesn't feel quite right. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I'll put them down here for now. If I feel like moving them later, I will. Solid themes, good renditions of all the classic Star Wars themes, some good new stuff. For a TV show, I think it's very solid. But if you're comparing it to like a lot of John Williams music and all that, maybe it's not quite the same, but a good effort for sure. So episode 7's music, oh boy, I love the soundtrack to The Force Awakens. I think it was, I feel like John Williams, over the last several years, really good still, but maybe doesn't put out quite as much stuff that's just on fire. And when this came out in 2015, he was just, like, all the tracks. I love Rey's theme. I think Rey's theme's fantastic. What I think? I'm not a big fan of the sequel trilogies. There's aspects that I like, but for the most part, not my cup of tea. But the music, though, in episode 7, I think is insane. I know it's crazy to put it above it. I'm not going to put it above the original Star Wars. I'm going to put it right behind it. But, I love it. I love the themes. I love the First Order themes. I love the themes for, the Resistance themes, Rey's themes throughout, like I mentioned. The callbacks to the Force theme that when they do occur are done really great. So I love it. I think it's a fantastic soundtrack. Huge fan. So, okay. Moving on to this one. I'm going to put in good category, the very back. Rogue One by Michael Giacchino does a really good job. From what I've read and heard, it was actually somebody else who was going to do the music. And then I think not last minute, but somewhat last minute, it didn't work out. They brought him in and he had to write the score pretty quick. I don't know if that's just hearsay, but that's what I heard. And I think he did a good job. It's solid. It's a solid, a B score. It's not as good as, John Williams' stuff at all. But I think it gets the job done. I really, really enjoy it. For the most part, it's got some good tracks in there. It is interesting because you have the Imperial theme in there, and it does kind of feel sort of like a generic rip-off version of the Imperial themes you hear from John Williams, but it's still good. Yeah, I like it. I like it overall. It's got some other solid things in there. The rebel themes that occur, it works in it. Um, the best one, but definitely solid. Okay, what do we got next? We got Last Jedi. I actually think it's pretty good music. I'm gonna put it above Return of the Jedi. Yeah, I'm gonna put it right there. Maybe. No, I'm gonna put it just below Return of the Jedi. I think this still is really good music. Honestly, I know the movie is very controversial. Like I've mentioned before, there's aspects of the movie that I'm like, okay, I think that's all right. I like what you're going for, but for the most part, it just as the years go on, it instead of the prequels, which for me get better and better, even though they have their issues too. Um, this one doesn't in the movie wise, but music wise, I think it does great. I think this movie does an amazing job. If you just watch it, like you can really tell that the cues work really, really well in the movie. The callbacks are all awesome when they happen. I do like Rose's theme. I think it's pretty sweet. It's a nice theme. Does a really good job in the movie. But yeah, I'm a big fan of it. I think it does great. Great. It does a good job for what it's doing in the movie. And I think it does really well. It's not my favorite one for sure. Like I like all the other ones much more for the most part. But when it comes to stuff that John Williams has done, it's probably my second least favorite one, I think. Yeah, probably my second least favorite one. But I think there's a big gap. Like I think there's a really big gap between this one and my least favorite one, which is coming up soon, unfortunately. But yeah, pretty solid stuff. I like it. I don't go back and listen to it very often though, but when you watch the movie, I think it works really, really well. Even if some of it's kind of recycled stuff we've seen already, but really solid. The music in Rebels, I'm gonna put it also in solid. I mean, kind of my thinking for these ones right here, like it works, it's good. Kevin Kiner does a good job. Ahsoka's theme throughout, that's kind of one of the new themes, solid theme for sure. But for some reason, it just doesn't. Maybe I just haven't listened to it enough. Doesn't resonate with me. The music quite as like it's not like I have to go back and listen to these tracks like crazy. Whereas these ones over here, like there's lots of tracks to go back and listen to. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's solid. I'm gonna put Rebels, a lot of Kevin Kiner stuff, probably just kind of right here in the middle. But yeah, so solid, nice score, not bad at all. Rogue One, so not Rogue One, Solo. This might be kind of controversial, but I love this one. So I'm actually gonna put it extremely high. I'm gonna put it right up there and awesome. I think the soundtrack to Solo is crazy underrated. Crazy underrated. I don't think I can put it above these ones. Oh man, I feel like putting it above. Nah, I can't put it above. I think episode 7 is still a little bit better. I'm gonna put it right up in awesome tier. I love it. So to me, what it feels like. So John Powell does it, and to me, the soundtrack it really feels like a mash between Star Wars music, as you know it, and kind of like that bombacity and the kind of feel in some ways of How to Train Your Dragon, because John Powell's masterpiece is How to Train Your Dragon. And when you watch this movie and you listen to the music music is awesome. Like I love Han's theme. I know that was composed by Williams, but the other themes are great too. The themes for like those raiders that are coming, all the callbacks to the original themes as well, the way Han's theme is used. I just think it does so well. I just love it. It's exciting. It's bombastic. It reminds me of I love the How to Train Your Dragon soundtracks. They're fantastic, and to me, it feels like a Star Wars version of that. Whereas that one's more, has more of a Celtic feel or Viking feel to it. This one's a Star Wars feel to that style, and it's a blast. Tons of fun. I could sit down and listen to this whole soundtrack and be totally pleased and have a great time with it. So underrated, massively underrated soundtrack in my opinion. I think a lot of people just kind of put it to the bottom, but I love it. So anyway, I'm gonna put this one in not applicable. I haven't listened to any of the music from this. I don't know about it or what it is, so I'll go there. I'm gonna put this one on below average. Rise of Skywalker. I had big high hopes for this one. I think it's mostly my expectations not being met. The new music, I don't remember it. I don't remember any of the new music that's in it, which is maybe a bad thing. There's probably, new themes in it, but I think for some reason, I don't know why, but I think this soundtrack really just didn't work. Maybe I don't know if there's something that happened and Williams was out of ideas or something else happened, but just wasn't a big fan. I know they do some callbacks to Star Wars music, but sometimes they feel like they're the wrong ones, they're forced, or I had ideas that maybe other ones would get used, like that didn't end up happening, other cues. So it's just, I don't know, it's kind of sad because it's a John Williams one. I was excited for it, listened to the music, I was like, this feels really regurgitated. It doesn't feel like it's cut to the movie as well. The cues aren't as, impactful or crisp as I would like in some of the other music, other movies. You got callbacks to the Emperor's theme, which is fun, of course, but I don't know. To me, it's like I feel like I was really disappointed. I guess it was my expectations not being met. And again, it's John Williams. It's good music, but when it comes to Star Wars music, it didn't do it for me. So I'm gonna put Visions on the bottom. I don't know much about the music in Visions, so it's not my thing. Andor's music, I'm gonna put it in top of solid. I really like the way it's used. It's not one of the feature aspects of Andor. It's not like, I think the music works really, really well in the background. The suspense, it's very kind of methodical and slow. I love the main themes. Every single intro to an episode is kind of like the same main theme, but a little bit different take on the main theme. I think it's kind of fun. But the music, like I said, it's not what stands out. I don't think it's that amazing or crazy. I'm actually going to pay more respect to Kevin Kiner. I'm going to put Andor just behind it. I like it. It works for Andor, but it's not the most remarkable. So, okay, we got Mandalorian. I'm going to put this up pretty high. I think the Mandalorian score, the theme to Mandalorian, you can just listen to over and over again. I'm going to put it up here. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to put it in awesome. I think for me, like I mentioned, I really love Solo. Fantastic. But it does, other than kind of having that flair of John Powell, it still doesn't necessarily feel like it's kind of breaking out and doing its own new thing fully. For me, the Mandalorian theme, it's like, it feels like Star Wars music, but yeah, it feels like Star Wars music, but when, shoot, I gotta remember the composer. How do I do this? That's terrible. Mandalorian composer Ludwig Göransson. Duh. Okay, so Ludwig, I think he does a great job at like just making Star Wars music feel really organic and original, different from John Williams. Obviously, I think the main theme to the song, I think the main theme is fantastic. It's so fun. It just kind of gets, it's just kind of like wacky, spacey, westerny almost feeling main theme. Gunslingery main theme that maybe you'd see in like a 70s western. Maybe not. I don't know. It has the right Star Wars vibe to it, and all the other supporting music does a great job as well. Of course, there's not many other tracks I really remember very well, but like just in general, I think he does a fantastic job throughout the show. The main theme is pretty iconic now, I think. Great music. I love it. A lot of fun. Okay, Book of Boba Fett. This is tricky. Where should I put this one? I really like the main theme. The show wasn't very good, but I love the music to Book of Boba Fett. Also, the main theme was done by Ludwig Göransson again, but the actual score was done by someone else. So I don't remember the rest of the score as well. I think they're really just kind of drawing on Mandalorian music, but I think the theme's a lot of fun. But for me, the main theme is not quite enough to just kind of fully. I'm going to put it in the back of good. Maybe I'll put it in the top of... So I'll put it in the back of good. I love the main theme. It's a lot of fun. It's very different and unique, kind of a take on it. The vocals with it. But I don't know. It's pretty catchy. I enjoy it, and I hope you guys do too. Obi-Wan. I don't know. I'll put it right here. I don't remember the music in Obi-Wan standing out to me at all. I liked Obi-Wan's original theme that John Williams made. And it was solid. It was fine. I like his theme for Han Solo a lot more, though. But the theme he made for Obi-Wan was like, it's cool. It's all right, It's kind of pensive. Introspective theme, I guess. I don't know. But the rest of the music in the whole show, I don't know, just didn't stand out to me. I just, it was unremarkable. But I do like that main theme by Williams. I thought it was solid. It's always good to have his themes come back. Original themes, of course. So I'll put it just above Andor. I like Andor's themes, but like I said, the music just doesn't blow out, really be amazing. but it works. Like I'll put it this way: Andor's music works well for the show, and it does its job. But it's not music I necessarily go back and listen to, and I guess that's maybe how I'm grading it more. Like, how much does that music impact me directly rather than indirectly? So I'll put it down here. I'll keep it where it is. Yeah, that's true. Tales of the Jedi. I don't remember the music jumping out to me all that much. Ahsoka. So Kevin Kiner does the Ahsoka music. I'm gonna put it in solid. It's okay. He does a good job. There's callbacks to Ahsoka's themes. That intro, or is it the end credits? It's either the intro or the end credits. It has its own new theme. It's kind of like very slow, very, I don't know, stoic almost sounding theme. That's okay. It's not my favorite, but it's like, okay, I see what's going on here. It's fine. I don't know. It's not my, I'm going to put Ahsoka behind these guys. Yeah, I'm even going to put it down here. I thought the music in Ahsoka was okay. The new original main theme to it didn't really jump out to me all that much. Yeah, I like Andor's theme more, honestly. Even though the music, aside, the theme and the music's maybe like not as crazy. I don't know. Ahsoka's. I'll put it in solid. It wasn't bad. Definitely not bad, but it was like okay, whatever. Bad Batch music. Okay, this is an interesting one. I like Kevin Kiner's original. I like Kevin Kiner's music for Bad Batch more than some of the other things. I'm going to put the very back of this one. So with Kevin Kiner's stuff, I don't know. I think since there's fewer episodes, I think he really went all out. And I like the themes that are introduced, for the Bad Batch. Just like all the stuff that's kind of filler throughout it. I think it has a good feel to it. And I've just find that when it comes to the animated shows, I think I like the Bad Batch's music the most for some reason. It's fun, it's upbeat sometimes, it's a good time, so I like it. I'm gonna put this one down here. Acolyte's music. I don't remember the Acolyte's music. It's funny, I watched the Acolyte like a few months ago when it came out, and I just don't remember its music. It just didn't jump out to me. It didn't stand out as being like, wow, like this is a sweet theme. This is epic music. I gotta go back and get this track. It is whatever. I don't know. So I'll just put it down below average. If it was that unremarkable, like with all this music, there are themes. There's music that even if it's not the most, like it'll jump out and be like, oh yeah, I remember that theme. I remember that cue. That was really cool. That was nice. All of these ones have that. But for the Acolyte, I don't know. I don't. To be fair, I don't think it was bad music. It just wasn't remarkable music to me, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't want to say bad because I don't know if that's fair, but it's like it didn't jump out. Yeah, I'm just gonna put bad. Actually, I just don't remember the music. Maybe I need to go back and re-listen to it. If I do, maybe I'll bump it up and be like, yeah, I like that more. It was okay music, but yeah, I don't want to just put it bad because I thought the show was bad. Like, I guess if I was making a show based on choreography, I'd probably put this towards the top. I think the choreography and lightsaber fights in Acolyte are like probably the best Disney's ever done. But I didn't like the story. I didn't like some of the messages they're trying to tell, or that they thought they were trying to tell. Not my favorite thing, but the music, it was so unremarkable I can't remember it, which is kind of sad. So Skeleton Crew. Okay, I love the main theme for Skeleton Crew. It is just so, I don't know, wacky, zany. It has that, like, it kind of does something that Mandalorian does. It's not as good as Mandalorian, but it kind of goes for it. It's like, we're going to do something different. We're going to have this kind of like outer space, pirates, adventure, wacky theme going on. And for me, it works. It's like a treasure hunt kind of vibe. And yeah, I've listened to this theme a few times. I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. The music, besides the main theme, I think is pretty solid as well overall. So I like it. I like it more than these ones. I even like it more than those. I like it more than these. Yeah, I'm gonna drop it right there. I think I like Rogue One's just a little bit more. I'm gonna put above Rogue One, actually. Rogue One is kind of generic feel. Good, but kind of feels generic. I really like Skeleton Crew. It's just a little different. Let's do that. That's fine. Okay. Okay, here we go. We're at the end. We've done everything. So, GOAT tier, episode 5 and 3. Best music, just across the board. All the tracks just hit on all cylinders. So original, so great, memorable. For Awesome, episode 4 is great. I love the Mandalorian's music. Episode 7, fantastic. Episode 2, is that too high? Yeah, it is. I'm going to put episode 2 as the top of good tier. Solo, I think, is crazy underrated. To me, I'm very subjective. I love it. So, and then good tier, episode 2 and 1, awesome. They could put them higher. Like great, they have great individual tracks, but the rest of the music's decent, but maybe not like quite top tier. Return of the Jedi's great. I think Last Jedi actually is really great music too. I love the themes and Skeleton Crew. Rogue One is a solid outing, even though it's kind of generic-y feel. It's like kind of like feels like generic knockoff Star Wars. Love the main theme book of Boba Fett. I like Kevin Kiner's effort in Bad Batch. That's his favorite music that he does of mine. In solid, I think his music for Clone Wars and Rebels, very solid, not bad at all. I like the Obi-Wan Kenobi theme. I think it's decent. I'm actually going to drop it down. But the rest of the music doesn't stand out to me, but his theme's nice. Andor, even though it's not the most featured aspect, I feel like the music complements it well. I do like the main theme for Andor. It's a very slow build-up main theme that I like. But it's not the most remarkable thing ever. Ahsoka's music to me wasn't my favorite. The main theme's fine, it's okay, but I don't know what it was. Just wasn't quite right to me. And then for below average, I wasn't a fan of episode's 9 score. John Williams does it. He's great, of course, but for some reason it didn't come together for me. The new themes that are in there, I think were good, but it just didn't work for me. And then the Acolytes music. Like I said, I don't remember anything about the Acolytes music. So if I watch a Star Wars show, and the music doesn't jump out in some way, like the music in all of these literally jump out in some way that I'm like, oh, I like that, or I like all of that. But with the music and Acolyte, I just don't remember anything. It just didn't jump out to me as being remarkable, so I'm just going to put it down to bad. And then I didn't feel like it was right to judge these ones. I mean, like I mentioned, I don't really either watch them much, or I don't think it's quite the right category or right fit to be judging them. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm curious. I'd like to hear what your thoughts are on Star Wars music. Overall, which things has the best music? Which shows, which movies? I think it's pretty easy that the top ones are going to go to John Williams, some of the original movies. But I think Disney has had some really solid outings as well. So anyway, I'll leave it there. Till next time, have a good one.